Hello and welcome to the Bonehead Championship live on Monday Night Blood Bowl. I'm Ben from the Bonehead Podcast and this is the Game 3 preview. Okay, so we skipped the Game 2 preview. A lot of people were like, where's my preview? Where's my preview? So it's back. Basically, we've gone live with the first 2 weeks of the Bonehead Championship 2. It's our mini league. We've got 8 teams. We're playing across 3 rounds. We're going Swiss for rounds 2 and 3. And at the end of it, the top teams will go through to the playoffs. But that's a long way away at the moment. This is going to be week 3, game 3 of 12 for the regular season before we get to the playoffs. And we're going to be seeing 2 new teams on the pitch this coming Monday night. And tell you what, I know we talked about it in the podcast this weekend. This is the most fun we've had with Blood Bowl stuff for a long time. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. Right, we've seen the Black Mountain Buccaneers come back and take on our Norse team, the Yolgard Marauders. We've seen our Vampire team, the Bloodkeep Barons, take on the Lizardman team, the Korgar Carnivores. Now we're going to be introducing 2 new teams. The Patreons and our members have helped us name these as well. We're going to be seeing Old World Alliance and Amazons this week. So let's have a look at the first team. And the first team up will be the Rogue Traders. Now this is our Old World Alliance team, and as you guys will no doubt suspect, this is going to be piloted by Trips on Monday night. So we've gone with a bit of a mixed build here. It is a suboptimal roster, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to introduce the most player types out there. OWA doing very well in tournaments at the moment with a different build than this one. It's really not that bad, but we think it's important to demonstrate as many different players as we can on this team. So we've got the Ogre, we've got the Blitzer of the human variety, we've got the Human Thrower as well. Tell you what, let's do this using their names, shall we? Because we've been named by the team. So we've got Mad Damon, the Ogre. Mad Damon, you know where that's going to go. We've got John Shivers, the Human Blitzer. We've got Earthwind Danfire. Clever name, that one. The Human Thrower. We've got Barrett Anvil Smasher, the Dwarf Blitzer. And we've got Dandelion, the Troll Slayer. That's my favourite. We've got Lightning Adams, the Human Catcher. That's a throwback to Rich from the podcast of yore. He always had a catcher, a human catcher on his human team called Lightning something or other, and he just used to run around in the backfield fouling people. We've got Killer and Filler, the 2 dwarf blockers. We've got Norm Ullman, the human lineman. We've got Bryce Wilson the second, and we've got Short Round, the halfling hopeful. So 2 linemen, 2 blockers, a human catcher, blitzer and thrower, dwarf blitzer, dwarf troll slayer, and the ogre as well there with a halfling on the end. So 11 rostered. We've got 2 rerolls, 4 dedicated fans, nothing in the cash box. Now, when I say this is a suboptimal roster, what I mean is realistically, if you want to take OWA and do really well with them, there's a couple of key things here, including the halfling. Bit vulnerable, but what you've got there is 2 dwarf blockers totaling 150k. That's potentially 3 linemen, or more realistically, you take human, and then you've got enough cash to take your 3rd reroll. But we want to see Killer and Filler on the pitch. We want to get as many player types as out there as possible, and it's always fun to give Trips an even bigger challenge. So that's the Rogue Traders, the Old World Alliance team. And they're going to be taking on the Tepec Tempest. So this is our Amazon team. So the Old World Alliance team, Ugni, Chef's Kiss, they're Conquistadors OWA. Now the Amazons, this is the Punga Amazon team as well. Now both these teams are available in our shop to pick up at the moment, and they are 2 of my favourite teams out there. This is the really wonderful thing about this championship. I got to kind of cherry pick my favourite models for these teams, and in some of the cases Ben just painted them up for us. So Tepec Tempests, we've got Mayhem and Pandemonium, the 2 warrior blockers there. Oh yeah, God, stupid names, haven't they? Right, the 2 Amazon blockers, the strength 4 girls. We've got Cecilia Blodgeford and Elspeth, our 2 blitzers / catchers. We've got Starbuck, our thrower. Love that. Absolutely love that. We've got Deanna, Rowe and Helena, 3 linemen. We've got Snoo, Missy Machete, and Anarchy as well. So 6 linewomen, a thrower, 2 blitzers, and 2 blockers. So a really solid start for Amazons, and backed up by 3 rerolls and 5 DF. Now this is a short league, right? There's 3 rounds in this. We're using the full league rules plus the fan favorite MVP, so it's a little bit boosted, but not by much. So taking that DF early gives you more cash, which means this team's going to be able to pick up more of what it wants, hopefully not having to replace any positionals. But I think straight off the bat, potentially spending that cash there on the apothecary, so that you can keep the positionals alive to save up that money. Then you add an extra lineman, and then you save up for the reroll, I think, in the long run. Now, I am a huge fan of the new Amazon roster. The blockers are interesting, defensive as well as dodge, right? Dodge, strength 4 is just wonderful anyway. You got the blitzers with hit and run and movement 7. Actually, it just makes them a little bit faster. And you've got a little bit of a combo play. Blood Tithe is going to be running this roster, and he's played some Amazons before. I think he's played some Amazons on the channel. I think he's played Amazons on the channel versus Trips, actually. That was where the on the ball moment came from. So BT's got a little bit of experience with Amazons in this version. Trips has got quite a bit of experience with OWA, but like I said, got the 2 dwarf blockers, which are frustrating players. This is going to be a really good matchup. Trips's experience with OWA, but hamstring, and BT's general experience, but the Amazon new roster. I really, really rate the Amazon roster. It's going to be a lot of got dodge, I think, and you know what? I'm fine with that. 960 versus 970 on the TV play, so no inducement's going to be the case. This is going to be a straight up on the pitch action fest, and I love it. Okay, so we've got Trips on one hand with the OWA team. We've got BT on the other with the Amazon roster. We're going to talk about the matchup between them, those 2 rosters and how they line up. So let's start with the Amazons. Okay, everybody's got dodge. That's very, very good, right? That's all well and good. 3 rerolls on the roster is a little bit lighter than you'd potentially want to go, but we wanted to make sure that all those positionals were on the pitch, because we want to see the positionals in action, right? It's the most exciting thing. 2 strength 4 pieces going up against the 1 strength 5 piece of the OWA team. Now the OWA team, right, even though there's a bit of loner and there's a bit of stuff like that, it's pretty stacked, okay? We've got Mad Damon, okay, the bonehead boy. Mighty Blow is going to be really good. Now Trips has got, I don't know what, it's a 50-50 ratio in this series alone with big guys. Cuddles being on one end of the spectrum, shall we say, from game 1. And the Gorn doing a pretty awesome job last week with the Lizards. So Mad Damon will be there to, I don't know, be the deciding vote on that one. Mighty Blow +1, strength 5 against a roster that is primarily strength 3 and armor 8+. If Mad Damon gets some good hits in, then we could see some significant removal happening. And that is also amplified by the Human Blitzer, who does have block, by the Dwarf Blitzer, who does have block, and the Dwarf Troll Slayer, Dandelion, who's got block and Frenzy. So I think what we'll see is you've got that kind of 4 combat pieces on the roster. Then you've got the 2 Dwarf Blockers who will be flanking, probably Mad Damon the Ogre, and just taking advantage of Brawler. Now, Brawler is not block, but I don't know, we saw it in the Blackhawks. If you can get profitable 2-die blocks with the Brawler skill, it's 2.5 die. It is very consistent, and I think we'll probably see Killer and Filler just taking as many free blocks as possible, and I wouldn't put it past Trips to be throwing a couple of 1-dies there and just kind of trying to swing Brawler into a POW. Dodge is going to keep these guys pretty safe on the other side though, and absolutely no access to tackle here is going to be a bit of a challenge. But the thing is, with the Amazon roster, if you can catch them, you can kill them, and that's going to be pretty murdery. On the other side, Ben knows how to take apart certain teams when he plays. He will know the best way to kind of counter a strategy. Now, when you're looking at this roster, the Blitzers and the Slayer are the most potent pieces. They're the most potent all-round pieces on this team. You've got some vulnerabilities with the OWA in the Catcher being strength 2 and the Hobbit, the Halfling, short round being strength 2 as well. So what I'm likely to expect is Ben using the strength 4 blockers and potentially hitting and running with those blitzers to take out, or at least apply pressure onto those strength 2 pieces, then use the big burly blockers to try and gang up and take out the ogre, or at least take him out of the primary combat. That would be what I would expect to see. Now, when it comes to the scoring game, all right, strength 2 is a bit rubbish, but movement 8 is pretty wonderful for the human catcher there, and they do have catch, and they don't have loner, and they do also have dodge. So there's a bit of speed there. The human thrower, being passing 3+, is not quite so good on the OWA side, but still having sure hands and pass means there's a little bit of a throw and pitch game there, and you've got short round to run around and just provide assists or try the one-turn touchdown. So both of these rosters have got a lot of interesting things going on. This is going to be, I think, a really interesting match, and the way I want to see both these teams develop, when it comes to OWA, I don't care. Any of the players, any of them, even the linemen getting SPP, it's going to be fantastic because they're going to get skills, and that one positional, that one-of situation is going to start brewing up its own story. This is why I love Renegades as well, because everybody has their own story on that side. When it comes to the Amazons, we see a little bit of a power spike. As soon as they start getting access to this one skill, you may not have heard it. Not a lot of people know it's good. Block, the power level tends to rise a little bit. So the 2 blitzers and the 2 blockers, them getting some SPP early on would be very nice to create strength 4 blodgers or movement 7 blodgers, and that's when it starts to get a little bit out of hand. So I am super excited for the game on Monday. Do not forget to vote in the poll that's up on the community page right now to determine home field advantage. That player will get +1 to the kickoff. That team will get +1 to the kickoff roll and will win the cheering fans result of a 6 or 7 on our altered kickoff table at the beginning of the game. Now, there'll be a poll live in chat as well, so vote in both of them. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you Monday night. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.